Hey and welcome. We're just going to do a video using the APKWS. I'm just going to bring up the loadout and we're going to put on the APKWS with the rockets. So you can find it at the very top under rockets, APKWS. We're going to put 7 on each side. So in theory it could hit 14 targets. Not bad for this little OH-54D helicopter. So we're going to click on that, but also just quickly change our livery to something else. There's a few sort of orange ones. We might choose one of those. There we go. And then we're just going to jump into the cockpit and try and get this thing started. So we're doing everything from a cold and dark start, so you can see everything in the process. We're not going to miss anything. Anti-collision, and then just drop on the battery. Go down to here, turn on our key, put the throttle to idle, of course, and then we're just going to hold down the start button. Seems pretty simple. So that's starting. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to jump over to here and I'm just going to have a little look at the nav screen if it will give me that information. And here we go, so we're just waiting for GC Align to disappear. So we will wait for that.
Rearming complete.
Rearmed, so if we have a little look outside, we've got 14 rockets on board, so that's all good. Keep getting rid of these acknowledgement sounds, and then we can go up to the top here. We'll turn on the AC, the DC and the bus, also the fuel boost. And then while we're waiting on that, we could jump over to the other side and we can get our little sensor up the top here started. So I've just put it onto full throttle. We're going to turn on the SCAS, these 3 buttons. But other than that, we're pretty much all started. So we're just waiting on the GC Align now. We'll quickly tap this just to bring it up 1. And so that's all ready and done. And we can also just change this to NR. Sitting on 99, around about 100. So everything looks okay. Just have a quick look up there. That looks all okay. The only thing we might have missed out on was the fuel boost, but we've got fuel boost down, so that's good. And we'll jump over to the other side. So what we're going to do now is we're going to change this here all the way around to FWD. We're going to turn on this all the way to ARM. And we're just going to go down to here, turn this on to arms and guns. So now if we go into laser code sensor number, we've got 1688. I'm going to change it to 1666. So I'm going to clear. We've got to click it first. Then click clear. And then just put 1666, enter. And then we should have 1666 entered in there. We also need to change it on this page. Now, I don't know if it matters where you or when you enter this, but this is where we're entering it. We'll see if it works out. So we've got 1688 in there. So we're just going to put the third number to 6 and then the fourth number to 6 with left shift, left alt, and then the numbers 3 and 4 just on the keyboard. So that's 1666, and then we can get rid of that with the right shift and K on the keyboard. So that's all gone. And then we can get out of this screen and we can go back to MMS page. Okay, so now we've got to push a button to spin this around, and that button is going to be under the co-pilot stuff, and then it'll be on my throttle. Hopefully it comes up here, MMS manual / slave mode. So we're going to push that button, and you'll notice this is spinning around. And by the time you finish all of this, pretty much the aircraft should be pretty close to aligned. So we're just waiting for GC Align to disappear, and then we're all ready to go. Plane's all started up. I'm just waiting for the GC Align now, and then we've got some targets not far away, but they're just down the end of the runway here. So we're going to just come down around about here and then try and shoot them from there. That's the plan in this video. So you'll notice GC Align is gone. There's nothing. So once there's nothing gone here and auto is not selected, your navigation part is finished with. So we can just turn it back to VSD. We do need to fly first to get ourselves in position. Then we'll let the autopilot take over with left alt and H, and he can hover and then we'll start jumping over to the co-pilot seat and getting ready to make our attack. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is just get this aircraft safely up into the sky. We'll just give it a little bit of collective, a little bit of left rudder, and then we're hovering. Pretty simple. So now we want to stop hovering, and then we're just going to move forwards. We'll head over towards this runway, and then we'll follow the runway down a little bit. We do want a little bit of altitude, so that's really what I'm trying to gain at the moment, is the altitude. Helicopter's got a little bit of weight because we've still got full 14 rockets. So just moving over towards that runway. And now just gaining altitude. Our targets are down the end of the runway there. Just try and gain altitude. Kick it right just a little bit. And that looks pretty good for now. So we're just left Alt and H.
Alright, let's see if I can pick up a stable hover.
And he's got that. So the first thing we want to do is just make sure we've got our weapon select. So this is all armed. And it's on. This is on, it's not unsafe. And then we're hitting the weapon select buttons. So I'm going to do weapon select, and you can see it brings up the weapon select screen. And then I'm just going to go left on the weapon select so that we select the rockets. We've got rockets both sides. Then we're jumping to the other seat with 2 on the keyboard. And then we've got to move this around. So we want to get it into manual mode. So we're pushing that button that we were pushing before. If it's still in that mode, I can show you. We're just pushing this MMS manual slave mode to put it into manual mode. And then once we've got it into manual mode, we can move it around. So we're moving it around. Now to move it around, all I am pushing is on the, or wherever you want to set it up, doesn't really matter too much, but I'm just using MMS line of sight up, down, left and right. Above and beyond that, I need to use this MMS narrow toggle down 2 to 4 times to zoom. And then when I find the target, I'm just pushing this MMS point track on. That's once I find the target. When I want to deselect the target, I'm pushing this MMS manual slave mode. So that's to deselect it. And then to put the laser on, we're pushing fire laser, fire, press and hold. And then of course the fire button is the fire button for the rocket. Just going to click cancel and cancel because right at the moment we haven't got anything selected. So we've got to go find these guys first. So over here we've got our friends, and we're just going to zoom in on them. So now I'm going to do a point track. So I point track him, we've got him locked. Now you'll notice up here we've got RNG range. So I understand we need to get that so that it isn't range. So we push this, now we've got A1166. That's good. And my only understanding at the moment is as to whether the laser is firing is it will flash. So if I go and do laser arm, you'll notice now I've got a flashing number, possibly the range along with the flashing number. So then we're going to just fire our missile with the detent button. So first detent, let's jump into adjust controls, go back over to pilot and then joystick, and then this is all we're using, fire weapon first detent. Great. So we'll go and do 2 rockets on each one of them because there's only 7 enemies. So 1 and then 2. So they're off, and then we'll just watch the screen. 1. And he is destroyed. So then we want to deselect him. And put it onto manual mode. Bring it back down. Here's our friends. There's that one burning. So then we're just zooming in. I think it's important that we just unzoom every time. Okay, so we've got our point track. We can now unzoom. We'll go fire 1 and then 2. He's been hit twice, and then we deselect. We'll go find the next target. We zoom in, point track, and then we will zoom out, and then we'll just fire in 2. We'll see if we can see it from here. Yep, you can actually see them hitting the target. Alright, very cool. And then we just need to deselect. We'll go over to the next one. Zoom, zoom. Go down to here. Point track. And he should get hit in a few moments. Cool. That one's destroyed. We can take that one out. It's a little bit hidden, the other one, because it's behind the smoke at the moment, but if we zoom in, we should be able to find him. And we'll see if we can point track that. We can. Okay, that's the destroyed. We'll deselect that. Move over here. Come back down to there. Just point track him. And then fire. And then fire. He's destroyed. And then we will get our very final target. Might have a little look outside just to see if we still just have the 2 rockets. So yeah, there's just 2 rockets on board. They're the final 2, so we'll go fire them on this. Just make sure again we've got that point track, then fire, and then fire. And destroyed. Alright, great. So all of that's happened, so we can see the targets are destroyed over there. We can now go back and land. We're just going to need to take off this mode. So he's going to go flying when I take it off the
Roger. You have the controls.
off the autopilot. It didn't go flying too much. I got control of it pretty quickly. So we'll just spin it around. Bring that collective way back because I want to drop altitude. I can probably head out here just a touch, just as I lose the altitude. And we'll head back over here where we took off from. And we'll bring it down for a landing. Okay, so we're safely on the ground, and then the only other thing was I set up a button so I can just turn the throttle off so I can do a fast shutdown. So on my throttle, I pushed this button, throttle closed, and that gives me a very quick shutdown. So instead of having to turn all switches off, because I'm not playing Takeoff again at the moment, so we're just going to hit that, and then all I need to do is turn the key off, and then we're done. Run the ground safely, we can reload or whatever we want to do in this aircraft. If we go and have a little look at all the controls on the joystick, so the pilot, the things I have set up are the multifunction keyboard, acknowledge, recall switch, acknowledge. I had the fire weapon, first detent, to fire the rockets. That can also be used for the unguided rockets or guns if you had them on the plane. On top of that, I use throttle idle, and then also throttle full open. And then on top of that, I'm also using engine RPM trim increase. So I've got those things set up on my joystick. And then over on the co-pilot side of things, so we go into co-pilot and then just click search. Most of it's on the throttle, and on the throttle I have set up, of course, that throttle down button, but I also have set up the MMS manual slave mode, so that's really important. To move it around, I'm using this MMS line of sight down, up, left, and right. To zoom in, I'm using this button, MMS field of view, narrow toggle down 2 to 4 times. So I'm using that button. To activate the laser, I'm using this button, fire laser, press and hold. So I've got that set up, and then also to deselect targets, I'm using the MMS manual slave mode button. And then to put it into point track each time, I'm using this button, MMS point track on. And that's mostly all of it. This is probably the most critical thing to get going, MMS manual slave mode. But yeah, other than that, that's mostly everything we need to do. So I hope that is interesting. This is only one day after the release of the aircraft, so we haven't quite got on top of everything yet. I'll just watch the aircraft shut down. But that is the APKWS system. And you can put them back onto the aircraft. We go find them here, the APKWS laser guided rockets. So we just click OK and it should rearm it.
Copy.
And then we can go up and shoot some more targets. Cool. Lots more to learn, just taking you along as I try and learn this aircraft. Hope you're having fun and hope you're having some success in learning it as well. Bye for now.